Hello everybody and welcome back to another tutorial. How are you all this Tuesday evening, December? Oh my goodness, it's cold, it's stormy, it's wet, it's not very nice. Going to mention we have thunderstorms here. Didn't know if I'd be able to make it and do a live because of power cuts, etc. And I've just started streaming and it cut out within the first 3 seconds. So I do hope that didn't affect your view. And yeah, maybe we better crack on and see if we can get through this tutorial and help you out a little bit with this card. So what have we got for you tonight? Yeah, that's right, Four of Pentacles, nuanced with Major Arcana cards. So let's take a look at that. Hopefully the sound's okay. I think that everything's working. Yes. Okay, right. Let's jump in and see what we can do. Bear with me for 1 second, making sure my controls are there. Okay. Hi Tony, thank you. How are you? Hope you're well. I'm going to have a glass of water. Bear with me. The Passionate Saggy. Hello. Good day. Yes, yes, yes. Good stuff. So, Four of Pentacles, what we've got on the screen for you, the Devil card. So, as a pair, what could this actually mean? Well, I'm just going to say to you, if I was reading this card, I've got some keywords on the screen for you tonight. But if I was actually reading this card as for a client or for myself, I would simply say, you better watch out for unhealthy attachments when it comes to money or possessions. Maybe the need for controlling can become a form of bondage and limiting your growth. So that's really what this is about, attachments to money in this case, because we can see the 4 coins and we can see the man holding the coins, which is possessions, of course. And it's the need to control them. It's a form of bondage, of course. So there's an attachment going on here. And that usually has a very good reason for that form of attachment. Sorry, I feel like my eyes are sparkling, so I'm going to just take my light into a warmer look. Okay. So what would it mean? Well, if we're attached to something, it's usually because we're scared of something happening or fearful of something. And in this case, it's a fear of scarcity. So it doesn't matter how much you convince somebody is enough for their needs. They're actually going back to when it was scarce and they know what that was like, and they probably don't ever want to be in that position again. So there's usually a reason. It's not always because, oh gosh, they are a mean so-and-so. It's usually because they're fearful. And if they're fearful, they're going to actually be hoarding money or hoarding possessions or trying to keep control of everything. And in many times, you know, we are clinging to the very thing that we're scared is going to slip outside of our fingertips. Evening, Anthony. Hi, hi, hi. So, I think we said hello earlier, didn't you? Right, so attachment. That's what the Devil card can actually mean. It's one of its actual meanings. For a moment, let's just come back in and see what is it actually associated with. So the Devil card, just so you know, is attached to, now bear with me, why is that not coming on? I've got it. Sorry, I locked my scene. All right, so yeah, there we go. It's the planet Saturn. Sorry about the delay there. Sometimes when I want to move things around, I have to lock it and then I forget that I've put the padlock on and I can't do anything. So the planet Saturn, the planet Saturn. There you go, Passionate Saggy. Thanks for doing that lovely look at the content that I gave you this evening. I'm not going to say anything because I want to make sure that I get it right before I make any announcements of what I'm actually working on. Really grateful to you for looking at that, and yes, it was more to do with the timing of that in that project, Passionate Surgery, than the actual content. The content, I've got lots of wonderful things and goodies, but if we can get the timing right, we can actually do this. So, planet Saturn. Saturn is it's one of those where it really does give us a bit of a hard time. Oh, thank you so much. Really, really appreciating the speed of it. Wow, absolutely great. I'm not bringing up on here. I've got to do some work on it, as you probably sort of realised, but we're nearly there with it. So yeah, hope that's helpful. Some more learning tools on the website coming soon. So Four of Pentacles, fear of scarcity. Saturn can teach us some harsh lessons, and if we don't learn them, it's not very forgiving. So that's the planet that is associated with the Devil card, and the Devil card astrologically is associated with Capricorn, as you just saw come up on the screen. So let's go to some of the words that we can also use for the Devil. Right. There is, of course, your favourite word, passionate, surgery, materialism, or being materialistic. So in this case, it's because this person is materialistic and they fear that there's not going to be enough for their needs now or in the future. All right, so that's where that one is. Attachment, which we had on the screen, because we are attached to the fact that we are attached to our fear. And the fear is about not having enough, again, scarcity. And also the Devil card is restrictions. So we are in a place of bondage. The bondage is the chains that bind to what? The fear of scarcity, because that's the Four of Pentacles and one of the key words that we've put on there. Right, let's get rid of that one and let's look at it as in, when this happens, we are restricted. If we've got this card, the Devil card, we'll use the keyword restrictions, and we put ourselves into isolation. And you might say, oh, no, that's not the case. Yeah, because we are a little worried about, we're suspicious of what could go wrong. We know other people. And we can isolate ourselves, which restricts us. Why? Because you're no longer in the mix of people. If you've got the haves and the have-nots, if you're the Four of Pentacles, you probably have rather than have not. And so therefore that means that you're restricting things and blocking things coming in with the weight and the burden of carrying all those Four of Pentacles. Quite a job, you know, to have that on top of your head. And of course it's blocking the crown chakra, which means no spiritual enlightenment coming through there. Okay. It's restricting because it means you're restricted to material sort of things only. In this, it's not because of the Devil card, it's the minor cards telling you where the restriction is. A person's blocking everything. You know, King was in the counting house, counting out his money. You know, that old sort of nursery rhyme or song, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, blocking things. Why? Because the burden of having that on your head, walking around with that, you can't walk around. And he's wearing that pentacle in front of his chest, like a shield. You know, like a suit of armour. Or a crest. You know, here I am. Mr. Moneybags. Years ago, there used to be somebody that, what was he called? Loads of money. Harry Enfield. He used to do the character that was just, do you know how rich I am? Do you know this? Do you know that? I'm better than you. This, that, and the other. It was all, you know, comedy. But really and truly, that would really make you think of the Four of Pentacles. And we all can be a bit like that when we are restricting ourselves Probably because of circumstances that have happened in the past. And it can cause us to be very rigid. So we're restricting things, and we're very rigid about our life. We don't want to let anybody in, we don't want to trust anybody, we don't want to do anything, we don't want to do this, that or the other. So difficult. Why? Probably because we're hoarding. And you can hoard in many different ways. You can hoard people, you can hoard animals. People do. And you can hoard things, and you can hoard possessions. You don't want to throw anything out, or you could be acting as if you're hoarding all your friends or your family. Money as well, of course. And of course, restricting yourself, with surrounding yourself with possessions. The main point of how the figure's standing in this is he can't go anywhere, because if he moves, what's he going to do with the two underneath the soles of his feet? You see, that's why it's so restricting. All to do with what? Some form of wealth. Is it worth it? Yeah. And of course it could be, well, I'm looking after my savings, and that can mean that you're mean to yourself even, let alone others. You know, I'm not putting the heating on, put another jumper on, you know, we'll eat. I kid you not, when I was many years ago, when I had first started work in London, and I'd moved out of being a living nanny, and that was living out. And nannies then nursery nurses didn't earn very much at all. So I had to take something very cheap and cheerful and near to work. And my landlady was a bit like the Four of Pentacles. And I remember hearing her screaming, and it was a 3-floor house, absolutely screaming. I'm throwing you out, Michael, you know. She was a little bit eccentric, to say the least. I'm being very, very kind with my words. She died very young due to lots of bad living and unhealthy sort of choices in her life. Not eating properly, not sleeping properly, and just cramming knowledge and hoarding everything. But one of the hoarding things she did was she'd collect books, she'd collect clothes, she'd collect shoes, she'd collect makeup and everything. But she wanted to throw this guy out, quite simply, because he said, I'm not eating that. I could hear him. And he's like, Emma, I'm not going to eat it. No way. And so she went, there's nothing wrong with the mould that's on there. It's natural penicillin. You eat that toast or you get out. And he said, that's it, I'm gone. And he went, and he never came back. He came back to the house, but he never went back to the relationship because it had just gone too bizarre, you know, and these kind of things happen. Just one little story about the fact that things can actually become too eccentric. That doesn't mean this. I'm just saying that's somebody that's hoarding, that takes it to about their food, eating out of date food, you know, and then insisting that someone else does it. Not really on, is it? It's not very healthy. If that person says, I don't want to, it's up to her if that's what she wanted to do, but making her, she crossed a boundary. Talking of which, boundaries, yeah. This person's got a lot of boundaries. How do we know that? Well, how do you get close to somebody that's doing this? They can't turn their head, they can't move their head, all they do is think about money. Really, it's representing around the chest area that he's in love with money. It's his God, it's his love, it's his passion. And also the fact that the feet are on the 2 pentacles shows that very grounded when it comes to money. So therefore there's a lot of boundaries. If you're not meeting me with something similar, then perhaps we're not going to get on at all. You know, these kind of things. Okay, so why? Also because this person's got financial stability and security at the moment, but do remember that the reason they're hoarding it is they fear losing it. It's as simple as that. And of course, Four of Pentacles belongs to the element of earth. And of course, it's all about manifestation when you are in the earth family. Things that are tangible, things that are you've made happen, that are already there. They've all come together by a process of thoughts and emotions and actions. And of course, we do think we're logical, and then we should be emotional to that thought. Quite often, though, we go the other way round and we are moved by a feeling, you know. We respond with delight to something. Oh, I really like that, therefore I'm going to do it. So we can respond emotionally before we can actually think sometimes. You know, sometimes people act before thinking or feeling. So the way it should be and the way it is isn't always how it comes together, but usually we end up with a product as a result of that chain of events. All right, so let's bring on another card. All right, what am I going to show you? I know, let's do this, and I need to get rid of that. Okay, so the Fool card. So the Fool card, very much about many different things, leaps of faith, but mostly it's about something new. So this could be new money. This could be something new that they've manifested in their lives. And this could be new financial stability and security. It would depend upon the position as to whether it's happening around them at the moment or in the process of still completing. I would have thought it had happened simply because you've got the Four of Pentacles. Even if it was in a past position, you could see that somebody was new money, got financial stability and security. Okay. And with that means you've got to have new boundaries. Why? Well, because people will not be used to you when you've had a change of gear in your life and you've gone from maybe money was scarce for you to now actually having an abundance, you see? So you've got to have some boundaries because you know what's going to happen. People are going to go, well, hey, can I borrow some? Can I take some? And that's probably where the boundaries will come in. The fact that this person is saying, well, you know what, I've worked really hard. I'm not sure I could repeat that again. I can't replace it. Therefore, I'm scared I'm going to lose it and I'll lose it to you. So, you know what? The answer is no. I've got some boundaries. Don't ask me because the refusal will probably offend. So that's probably one of the boundaries. Why? What are they doing? They're new to money and therefore they are saving. And they are saving maybe for a rainy day. Even when that rainy day comes, the wealth that they have, that new wealth, could cause them to actually not want to invest upon using the money they've now got for the rainy day. They're expecting something further down the line, even worse than this, coming in. So therefore they're like, oh, I want to avoid it if I can. I want to hold on to my wealth. New to possessions, so everything could be, that's the most important thing in their lives. Therefore, they are not giving their time, they are not giving their attention. And they're starting to hoard things. Maybe a greediness happening, maybe a miserly touch happening, maybe something there that's a little bit ugly in their behaviour. And if it comes up for you, you'll have to work out what it is you're doing, because the Four of Pentacles can often be a bit of a slap to go, I'm not doing that. Sometimes we do, don't we? Sometimes we go, no, nobody's getting anything, we've got to pay the bills. And we've got another bill coming in after Christmas, so I'm afraid, no, we're not going to have that treat or that treat. So, yeah, and it's something new. You're actually saying, I'm fed up of it being like this, so we're going a different way. It can happen. Okay, right, let's do another card. So bring in the Magician, and with the Magician we are going to use the keyword manifestation. Okay, and then we'll put on our keyword for, we are in the element of earth, so we're definitely manifesting, because the element of earth is about manifestation. So you've got two manifestations happening here. But in what way? Well, in a way of, we are starting to work towards our financial stability and security, because we've manifested it and we want to keep it. Finders keepers, holding on to it, don't want it to slip through my hands like sand, that sort of thing. And as manifestations can bring about a lot of boundaries, okay? But let's look at it in its simple light. Let's say, sorry, I forgot to say that if we were looking at the Fool and the Four of Pentacles, I would look at that as in, with all the keywords I gave you, they're just keywords, meanings, and various examples of what you need to think about when you see this pair. It doesn't mean it applies to all of it. But plain and simply, if it's the Fool and Four of Pentacles, I'd be saying there's a new financial venture that may require some caution. Okay? Be careful to hold on to your resources. So something new's come in, hold on to your money, sort of thing. Yeah? You're stepping into the unknown. That's really what that one's about. If we get this one, what I would say is, here we've got the Magician and the Four of Pentacles, of course, and you've got all the tools to secure your financial stability, but ensure that you're not hoarding resources out of fear. Trust your ability to continue manifesting abundance. Yeah? So again, you know, just a different sort of outlook. Just thought I'd share with you the kind of things that I would say, but for the purpose of teaching, I want to keep some keywords going, so you're learning a lot of different meanings. And then you'll be able to kind of put it together. When you put it together, it's obvious. It's like, oh yeah, now I see it, you know. But that's the only way, you know. Don't be surprised that you haven't connected it. Be surprised if you did, and how marvellous when you do, and you suddenly go, makes perfect sense. Now I know what it's telling me. Instead of trying to bring a load of words together to make a story, you actually look at it plain and simply. Sometimes we're searching too much, but you can only search when you've actually, it's a bit like learning the alphabet. You're never going to be able to speak the language if you don't actually know the alphabet. You know, I was learning Turkish about 15 years ago, and it was like, you know, my surname starts with a C, and it's like in Turkish, that's pronounced J, okay? So straight away, you have to be aware that, you know, somebody speaking to you in Turkish, they would pronounce my name with a J instead of a C. Simple. So, yeah, one of those things. You know, simple things like that where you actually go, right, now I can understand why they said that, rather than, why are they saying, you know, J instead of C. If you know why, it doesn't mean you get stuck with just that. It means that you are just acknowledging it and you are aware. All right. So, let's get rid of manifestation for the Magician. Gosh, I cannot grab a hold of it with the mouse, sorry. Manifestation. And let's bear in mind that another part of what we need to look at when we look at a major card is it a planet? Yeah. And if so, which, and what's it relating to? So yes, it is a planet. It's planet Mercury. And that relates, of course, to Gemini. Okay. So you might say, why do I need to know that? Planet of communication, Mercury, communication. Gemini, duality of things, the twins. various different aspects. Things are not just, things are dual, you know, D-U-A-L, that kind of dual. There's a duality going on there. And so you know, one side of you might be doing this and the other side might be doing that, very cleverly, of course, because we've got the Magician and we've got a positive card next to it. That's the other thing. Simplify it. Have you got, you know, a positive pair there? Yes. I mean, all the major arcana cards are pretty much positive. Well, even if people say, oh, I don't think so, I don't think death and the devil. Well, actually, yes. Sometimes we do need to be our own puppet master like the devil. Sometimes we do need to be puppeteered to stick at something by another puppet master like the devil. Sometimes we do actually need to be addicted to something. You know, I'm addicted to salad, great. Then you know, you're going to be really healthy, aren't you? And probably get the outcome you want. You know, it's not always unhealthy. Don't look at things on one side. My point being, duality is really, really important. But if you look at whether or not you've got, I would say all of the major arcana cards are positive, even down to the fact that you might say, what about the death card? Brilliant, transformation, things are changing. Who wants everything to stay the same? No. So, you know, you've got to welcome change. Of course you have. If we look at the, what's the other card that I mentioned? Sorry, passionate Sergio, you'll have to remind me. I've got looking at all these keywords and kind of trying to go through what we're doing and giving you examples of it, making it easy. The minor cards are more likely to be positives or negatives. Not that I would actually make it flat like that, but you might go, oh, the Four of Pentacles isn't really positive. Well, sometimes you do need to actually watch the pennies. Everything's in balance and moderation. It's a warning, don't let it get out of control. And when we've got the Magician card, it's like, well, he's quite clever. He's very mercurial. Yeah, Mercury. Yeah, he's got the duality. It's probably that yin and yang aspect, that feminine, that masculine, in order to actually keep everything juggling. I'd say that's very positive as a power. Yeah, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on your boundaries. Watch out, you know, make sure that you are paying attention, that you know what's what. And yeah, maybe you do need to hold on to your resources. It's not all about just being negative. Right, for the life of me now, I've got to try and find my minor arcana card. Where is it? Okay, we're on boundaries. That's major cards. Okay, there it is. I whizzed past it twice, sorry. So yeah, it could be saving. Gemini, one aspect of you wants to save and the other one's turning around and going, yeah, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it at all. Why? Because the Magician's got the thinking right, got the emotions right, got the actions right, got the productivity right to make things manifest. Yeah. So if you like what we're doing, please do actually remember to subscribe to the channel, and then you'll be notified and reminded where we are. And there's a whole library of tutorials called podcasts on my YouTube channel. Nothing on Facebook, folks. By the way, I want to make a little announcement. Anybody that is watching in one of my pages on Facebook, they're not tonight, but surely this will be streamed in there. Come January, Anne-Marie from Ask the Answer, which is one of my pages, I won't be streaming this in there anymore. You'll have to come on YouTube, or I'm afraid that's it, because I need to take the stream quality up even higher. And we used to stream to Twitch. Not enough feedback there, as in not enough appreciation, lots of viewers and no comments. So you know what, got told off every single week because nudity in the tarot cards. There's nothing I can do about that. And if I'm teaching you, there is no point me covering up the cards with the nudity in the figures that are represented in the Rider-Waite decks. I've got enough to do without sitting there and covering up cards and making them look just to please a platform that is neither here or there. So I just stopped. It's like, you know what, before you push me, I'm pushing myself, I'm gone. So I'm afraid not going into Twitch anymore. Let's have a look at the courses and find out what you can actually learn. So be back in a moment. So once you actually complete the intermediate and the advanced course, you would end up with a spread that looks like this. So all those pairs are out there. If you notice, there's a lot of cards, and because there's a lot of cards, one spread covers everything. And if you want to find out more, go and have a look at my courses, and you can pick whichever one you want to do. She's a star. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Thank you very much, Passionate Saji. She's a great moderator. Thank you so much, Passionate Saji. I don't know what I'd do without you. I really don't. I'm going to put that back on. She's telling you to like the video and click on the notification button so you're aware when the tutorials are live. It'll send you a notification. And you can always turn around and watch it later, can't you? If you are learning the cards, I am going to do this, and there's a lot that could be against me. I've got elderly parents who are not so well. So all the time at the back of my mind, it's like, will we get to finish these 78 cards, or will I have to go and do what I have to do, as in with my parents? So far, so good. Yeah. But I would record them for you afterwards, even if I couldn't do them on the live, because I can't bear not finishing anything. So you will have all 78 cards in the podcast. Onto this card, the Moon, as a pair with the Four of Pentacles. So the Moon is obviously, as it says, with the planet, which of course is the Moon. And I took a beautiful photograph tonight of the Moon. It was awesome. After a big old storm here, very bad storm, so much so I thought we'd have no electric, no power, the lightning and the thunder, and the dogs were terrified, and it had gone on for hours. So let everybody know, if I'm not there, you know why. I'm speaking to you while I've got the power to do so, and I've got the internet and I've got the electricity. And thankfully, it calmed down. So yes, it happens in my neck of the woods, and I'm sure it happens in yours too. So if we've got the Moon and the Four of Pentacles, how would I read those? Uncertainty and illusion may surround your material situation. Simple as that. It's urging you to release the need to control and to go with your intuition. Okay? So when we're not comfortable, we become fearful, we become uncertain, we become in a place of illusions, and we let it get out of control, don't we? And most of the time when people have a reading, it's because their emotional state has probably gone into the Moon, and they've become uncertain and delusioned, surrounding whatever that second card is. And in this case, it's around their material security. It's a bit like, oh, I haven't got anything, I'll never have enough, oh gosh, I've got to really take it easy, I've got to watch every penny, or, you know, I cannot, blah, 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 blah. We've all done it at some point. It's when you let it continue and it becomes a bit odd or a bit eccentric. Like I said, my landlady, Emma, from a very long time ago, I'm going back to 1986, a long time ago. And because of all of that, unfortunately, Very, very sad while I was still living that she passed away at the age of 39. Guess what from? Unfortunately, malnutrition. And I was there several years, and so was my flatmate Lee. And we used to say, oh, gosh, you know, what is she eating? She's not looking after herself. And she died of malnutrition. There was a few other things that probably didn't help that. Sometimes you don't eat because you prefer to drink, don't you? And you get what I'm saying. But yeah, eccentric, hoarded books like you wouldn't believe, and never had a job. She used to hoard learning. Next thing, the next university degree. This very, very clever, but never did anything with that. Such a shame. True story. Anyway, she touched my life anyway. I was very, very fond of her. So the moon, okay, which astrological sign? Pisces, okay? And again, the moon can make us feel like we're swimming at odds with each other because we've got the fish going upstream and downstream, as we see. My hand hurts. I shuffled too many cards and worked the computer too long, so we've got that sort of thing. Or we can see the fish going that way, which is the actual correct astrological sign, I have been told, but it is represented both, and it just means swimming in different directions. Not like the duality of the twins were probably, you know, synchronized in some way to go from yin to yang. This is kind of going, oh, I'm going up and I'm going down and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not really doing anything very well. So the moon can cause us to be uncomfortable, okay? And the key word that we have chosen for the moon, for the major arcana, I use the word imagination. So yeah, it's being fearful of fear of scarcity. Imagination's getting out of control, you know. You see things, and we know that. It can be a mood, can't it? You know, our moods can change like that of the moon. And so it can make us fearful that we're not going to have enough for our needs. Sorry, I didn't mean to take that one off, I beg your pardon. Minor keyword is what I wanted to get rid of. It's definitely a card of confusion, absolutely. It is confusion. You know, I will say today, and sorry, I'm not aware what the moon's doing at the moment. I should be, but it's been a busy day, so I looked at it, but it's gone right out of my head, I have to be honest. It's confusion, most definitely. But it's been a day today where people have definitely felt so unsettled. All the calls today, somebody's so unsettled that they are insisting upon something, or trying to. They're having a reading to try and confirm, yep, I knew it. It's just as bad as that, isn't it? Yep. It's never going to happen. The worst is happening. Da 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 da. And we look at the cards, and straight away I could see everyone was being affected by the moon, and they would be in some case. You look at the cards I showed you, in a full spread, the moon's going to be out. But this was in the position that's very important, which is what was influencing their emotions and what was causing them to be confused, as Passionate Saji told us, and letting their imagination become completely out of control, and not in a good way, in a negative way. And it was about, I can't cope, you know, there's this, there's that, there's the other, the worst is happening. And it's not at all. And nothing was that bad, I can assure you. I just don't want to be in that position. And I thought, well, sometimes you're going to have to be. You know, and one of them was about money and the other one was about something else, but it was like, it was going haywire. And that is when we're being affected by the moon, where we choose to actually look at everything as the big old bad old world is going to get us, and oh, there's nothing we can do about it, you know. So then we go into isolation. Why? Because if we are just constantly fretting about this, we're probably not getting involved in joining in with anything. We're obsessing about this, you know, we're letting this get a grip on us, and we're blocking anything good that's coming our way. That's a big point, a very big point. Right, some keywords for the Four of Pentacles. Right, talking about ruling planets, I want to show this from time to time, because this is where the ruling planets affect the zodiacs. So we just had the moon on there, didn't we? So we've got Pisces, and of course its ruling planet is Neptune, which I didn't actually mention when we were on that card. I can go back to that if you'd like me to. But yes, the moon is Pisces, and it's connected to Neptune. Neptune is the watery world of illusions, delusions, our dreams, our nightmares, what's real, what's not real, our fears, being confused, feeling very confused. Unlike the two fish, as you can see, it's glyph there. It's supposed to be two fish swimming and not quite knowing what it is we're actually doing. Okay, so let's just bring that back. Right, I moved on to the next card, which I chose for you tonight, which is the Judgment card. And yes, this is astrologically connected with the star sign of Scorpio. So if you didn't know that, you know, watch the tutorials and you might go, wow. So if you're reading for a Scorpio and you've got the Judgment card and the Four of Pentacles, that Scorpio might be putting themselves in isolation. But in actual fact, as a pair, if I was reading this, I would say there's a call for re-evaluation of how you're handling your resources. You've got to reflect on what you're holding on to too tightly, and why you're being possessive over your possessions, or you're not open enough to what's transforming in your life. That's how I would read that, okay? So I just thought I'd kind of now and again share that with you. Okay, so Scorpio, of course, but this card also is connected. I thought I took that off. Sorry, everybody. I thought it clicked. So yeah, we've got Pluto, which we know is also part of the wheel of, as you saw, the cycle of the 12 astrological signs. So therefore, Judgment is, its ruling planet is Pluto. And Pluto moments can be, it can be difficult. And in a reading, it can be brief. We all have Pluto moments. You know, things that kind of make us go, It's not very forgiving. Tends to push us and go, why aren't you reflecting back on what you've done? Okay, why don't you give yourself a pat on the back? Or why don't you go and put it right? Learn from your mistakes. Have you got to this point? How did you arrive here? No point, you know, feeling a victim. That's not going to do any good for you when you actually want to move forwards. You want to see what you've done, look at the good things, keep them, look at the bad things, learn from them. And from where you are, how experienced are you, and what are you going to hold on to? And we've got the Four of Pentacles there, and yes, it can mean isolation. While you're actually thinking, what am I actually going to do with my life? And the Judgment card, it's the one card in a reading that will take you into the long distance. So if you're looking at that, if somebody's saying, how's it going to be in X amount of time, and they're talking months, more likely this is years, decades. It's a crossroads of decades. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time? Retirement even. Look at the graves, there's a clue there. Wakey wakey. You know, you do not know when your time will come. So what are you doing about living? Do rise out of the grave, you know, come on. So here it's like you're in a place of isolation. And if we look at the Judgment card and we give it its major keyword, it is very much about this, reevaluating. So are you looking back and going, I've isolated myself and all I've done is work and look after my money? Or is that what I need to do? You know, depends where it is in the position of the spread, and the position of the spread that I showed you on the screen would tell you immediately. But you see people go, it must mean this. Don't make it fit. Like today, as I said, it's been one of those days. On reading, someone almost wanting me to confirm what they were saying. And it's like, what do you think, Anne-Marie? And it's like, I said, I don't know diddly squat. I don't know jack. But I am your interpreter and I am reading your cards, and your cards are telling me what to interpret and actually tell you. I don't know you. I don't know your life. I'm not the one with this. But your cards are telling me. They're the ones giving you the advice. I don't want to be involved in what I think of this. How would I know? I'm not in their life. I don't know all the outcomes. Cards are just a snapshot of something that's going on that somebody needs to pay attention to, whether they're wanting to hear it or not. And what they really wanted to hear was, oh, it's all doom and gloom. You'd be surprised that people are quite, oh, I can settle now, I know I'm right. And then tomorrow they'll be hysterical that it's all come out like that. It never comes out like that. They ring up to hear the opposite, but they're not ready to hear it. They think they are. So you sometimes get very, very strange readings, but you know that that person is just processing something, and you've got to be part of their journey to help them and keep saying, I'm really sorry, but your cards are telling me this, and this is what I've got to say to you. I really wish, you know, that it brings you the peace that you need. I know it's probably not much of a comfort right now because they're fighting with the reading. We can all get moody, you know. Oh yeah, you're only saying it's good, or oh yeah, you're only saying it's bad. I thought it was good, and you never give me a pat on the back. That's the kind of, the moon's like that, the Judgment card's like that, where people, yeah, they slip into places where, as Passionate Sachi beautifully put it, they go into a place of confusion. And when you're the reader, you've got to be very strong with them, very kind and compassionate, and go, look, I'm really sorry. I know that it's perhaps not what you were expecting to hear. And they go, it is really, but, you know, oh, I was just looking for a miracle, or I was looking to actually just let off some steam. Sometimes you might be reevaluating the fact that you've been very fearful in your life of not having enough, you know, of something bad happening. There won't be enough food, there won't be enough money, there won't be enough housing, there won't be this, I won't have enough for my pension, I won't have enough for my old age, you know, I can't have a family, whatever it is. That's what we mean by fear of scarcity. Anything and everything. And of course then, reevaluating, you may have been blocking your life. Anything good that was coming in. And people often say that. I don't know why nobody comes near me, and it's like, because you're blocking what's happening. They go, I'm not. And it's like, you are. Your guard is up. You're suspicious. And therefore, when somebody does offer you something, you think they're not trying hard enough. Therefore, in your opinion, they didn't try at all, when they really did. But there's only so many times that somebody would say to you, do you want to come out to play? Isn't there? Yeah? Right. Let's remind you of this. This is where you'll find the podcast. It's under Tuesday Tarot Twist. This is really doing well as a playlist. Thank you very much, everybody. It used to be the other one, Learn Tarot. This has gone wildly popular in the last month. So thank you for that. Why? Because the tutorials focus on being able to combine cards. And the art of combining cards is like this. If you want to be an expert reader rather than an average reader, you've got to have a system. I can assure you this system works. It's simple. And where you'll find some of the tutorials about how this works, or just a smidgen, so you can have a taster of what it's like to read like this, you'll find it on my YouTube channel. And just to show you, here's a PDF that we've got lots of learning aids. There's the Four of Pentacles, of course, and this is one of my PDFs on there where you can actually look in a really nice, simple way of looking up the tarot cards. And there's the courses that I've mentioned. So if you want some learning material, there's loads of ebooks, and that's blown up there, okay? And yeah, we have done the devil, so let me go on to one more. Let's just choose one at random. We haven't had this one for a while. Okay, right. Something else I want to mention to you. Here we go. I'm going to show you. We do have a birth chart calculator on the website for free. Okay. PDFs, by the way, they were under sort of £5. And the courses, well, they're probably the cost of a meal down the high street for two for an evening. Not expensive at all. And you don't have to do a pick and mix. Choose what you want to do. If you want to buy them all, that's fine. I totally get it. That's the kind of person I am. But it's up to you. You want to sort of study the major arcana, or you want to learn the technique, or you want to look at the court cards, do so. Before I actually show the Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Pentacles, have a quick look at the free birth chart calculator. I'm just going to show you a quick sort of scene of that on my website. Sorry, my microphone was muted. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Look, you just fill in. It's all free. You know, I've just made up a name there and put it in, and then, yeah, do be careful between really read what it says, the hour, as in trying to show you that, and up it comes. There you got your sun, your moon. Now, the reason I recommend actually knowing yourself and your birth chart is if you know what the planets are and how they affect you, it's going to help you with your cards. Okay, there's a few more bits there, but it's all free. Just in the way that these tutorials are free, but they won't last forever. Once they're gone, they're gone. And, you know, I'll be coming to the end of the cards, end of April, beginning of May next year. So don't miss a thing. There are the podcasts there. And if you think that someone can actually benefit from these tutorials, then by all means go ahead. I'm not for everybody. It's very deep. It's very nuanced. I'm here to help who I've always helped, which is people that are serious about being professional reading tarot and wanting to feel they're good enough to justify an income from it, and probably to turn around and say, you know what, when I get to a certain point in my life, I want to do this full time, or I want to do it as my retirement income, whatever it is that they want to do. Work out what kind of reader you want to be. Do you want to read on phone lines? Do you want to read at fairs? Do you want to read at events? Do you want to read email? Work it out. Where are you comfortable? They're big things. I'm not comfortable doing email readings or messenger readings because I always want to say more than I can type, and then I want to rearrange it. Or I feel it's like they're hurrying you for just a very quick yes or no. And I'm the wrong person to just ask a yes or no. I can do it, but I just feel that that is not the full story. And I'm used to people wanting great depth, and that's what I give. So, you know, this is what this is about. There is a whole library of tarot there, but it is nothing like the courses. This is just giving you what I do, and if you want it, you know where to find it. And it's a taster. See what you think. So great to have your support. So what's the planet that goes with the Wheel of Fortune? It is Jupiter. And some key words that we've got there for our Four of Pentacles is hoarding. Okay, Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Now everyone goes, oh, expanding money. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Also expanding possessions, yeah? And, you know, if I was to actually be giving you an example of what I would say about these two cards, if I was reading, I've just got two cards, I'd say, right, while luck may be on your side, it's important to avoid clinging to your current wealth out of fear that things could change. So enjoy your luck. Don't, you know, luck's on your side. Stop clinging on to the wealth that you've got, yes, just because you fear that it's going to change. You fear scarcity. So, you know, or not having enough. So Jupiter is the planet for the Wheel of Fortune. Let's make sure that clicks off. Okay, and this is the key word, sorry. Opportunities. Okay, let me bring that down a little bit. 1 second. There we go. All right, so I need to lock it back up so I don't lose it. Yes, okay. So, opportunities, Wheel of Fortune bringing in opportunities for possessions, for many things, but hoarding takes many different forms, as does the Four of Pentacles. Yes, it probably does represent our wealth, and it's important to know that the Wheel of Fortune is mostly a positive card. As I said, it's about expansion, and it's that Wheel of Fortune. And the Four of Pentacles is about our possessions, of course it is, but it's also many other things. By the way, I do want to bring on a complete different word. Bear with me for a second. Okay, possessions, there we go. So, I've got so many words. Okay, so yes, it's definitely about manifestation, yeah? And it's also opportunities with our financial stability and our security. But with that, it brings opportunities to create new boundaries or to maintain those boundaries. I cannot tell you how often I use that word for the Four of Pentacles in a reading. Not because it's my favourite words, but simply because in the context of the reading, it usually is. There's an opportunity now to put your boundaries in. You know, I feel that you're ready. And they go, do you know what? I would never have done that years ago, but I am ready, you're right. Or it's a case of, you know, the boundaries that they've got at the moment. Somebody is trying to test those boundaries and they're not comfortable, but they are maintaining the boundaries and finding it's taking all of their strength. Sometimes you see that with the strength card going, you've got the strength to do it. And it's like, yes, but it's exhausting. It can be. Of course it can. So yeah, opportunities with boundaries when we've got this pair. It's also talking about opportunities, because another key word for the Four of Pentacles is opportunities to have savings. Opportunities for wealth. Nice. Always a good one. Opportunities for possessions. And then, if we're not careful, there's the opportunity that you might need to start hoarding or watch what kind of things you're doing when you hoard. Nothing wrong with hoarding as long as it's not eccentric or too much. Nothing wrong with anything as long as that person feels it's healthy for them and it's not too extreme and it's not upsetting anyone. But it can make people miserable because what happens is they become very rigid. So opportunities are like saying no to them. Do you want to come out? Nope. Nope. Saving up. Nope. Saving. Nope. Doing this. And it's like, but you know, come on, you've got to take some time off. Sometimes we'd love to see you. Then people stop up asking because what you've done is you've blocked them. There's a difference between a boundary and being blocked. Okay, you know, sometimes when people say, can you have a look and see if that person's blocked me? That's the card you'll be looking for on the right. Yeah? You see? Along with, I'm going to do this because it's just something I thought that you'd enjoy. I'm going to leave you with this little nugget. Okay. So, this one, because its astrological sign is Gemini, as we said earlier. And what's that all about when it comes to the planets? Mercury. And what's Mercury? The planet of communication. So if you saw this as a pair and somebody said, do you think they've blocked me? What's your answer? Yes, they have. Little bit of fun there, yeah? And sometimes some difficult questions that we don't particularly feel comfortable about answering. Okay, the storm held off. I was able to do this. Yay! Always easier for me to do a live. I appreciate having your company so much. And thank you so much for watching and all the support. The channel's been doing really, really well recently. And all of you that bought the courses. Exciting. I've had a lot of people that are astrologers that have been absolutely delighted to be able to find a method of tarot that combines with their astrology. So I'm delighted that you're enjoying it so much. Those of you with tarot that wanted to strengthen it have been saying how much fun it is to actually put the pieces of the puzzle together and not just memorize keywords, but understand why. And if you understand why and it means something to you, you're going to feel that you're an expert reader because you know what you're talking about. Thank you to Passionate Sachi. Thank you so much for doing that for me. I will have a look at those questions on the numbers that you gave me. Thank you for watching the timing. So very grateful. So we're going to go with that timing. Unless you drop me a message, I'm keeping to it and I'll take your advice of what you suggested at the beginning of the project. So till next time. Take care of yourself and each other, and I will play you out with the courses so you can see what they're all about and pick one because it's so much fun and you will really, really feel established if you are able to deliver and know why you're saying it rather than, oh, is that my intuition? Use your intuition, but that counts once you actually know your stuff so that you actually become a fusion of being somebody who is utterly amazing. Oh, thank you so much, AU79. Thank you. You have a great day too. All the best now. Let's play you out with the courses.